Coming back to art has been like rediscovering a part of myself. I've always loved the creative expression. Even before I took art lessons, my mother taught me how to sew by hand, and Beanie Babies were the craze, and so I was cutting up fabric and sewing my own Beanie Babies. I always loved making things. And then I went to Levine School of Art, which is in Manalapan, I believe, and that's where I learned first how to start to paint. And so one week they would teach me techniques, and then the next week I was free to do whatever I wanted. And I loved that combination because it was just enough freedom to express myself, but it was also helping me hone those skills. Like most kids, I had a lot of different interests, so I did sports for a little bit of time, I did swimming for a little bit of time, and then I just really focused on school. And I got really into singing, and so singing became a passion of mine for quite some time, and I took singing lessons and did the high school musicals and shows and things like that. So I always had some creative outlet, even if it wasn't art, up until I graduated college. And at that point I really had to focus on a career, and had to really put aside a lot of my creative passions for my academic pursuits. And that was, an incredible, really fulfilling experience to go all the way to get my doctorate, which was always a lifelong goal. But that was just one piece of me. And then my academic pursuits got put on the shelf when I became a mother. And motherhood was really just a whirlwind. And like a lot of moms out there, I really felt like I lost myself. And motherhood became my whole identity. And I knew that there was so much more to me. And I really wanted to get back into art classes because it was a time that I was so happy. And it was just a real challenge for me to find the time, and also to give myself permission to be away from my family and do something that was a little bit selfish, but it was really taking care of myself. I said, okay, I'm just gonna do one class and just give it a try, and we'll just see what happens. And it was just like connecting with an old friend being there. It just felt so natural to be back in front of the canvas, and so exciting to see that there's this whole world, and really an entire world of art that I know nothing about. And it's just been such a wonderful experience to find all these different ways of painting, and still even just barely scratching the surface of what I can do. Honestly, the first painting I did at the Academy was a very frustrating experience for me. It was straight abstract with just a paintbrush, and I've never done abstract painting. I don't have a background in art, so I don't have any artists that particularly inspire me for abstract painting. I'm very much a black or white person, and abstract is all the gray in the middle. And the art teacher picked up on that. She saw how frustrated I was getting. She said, okay, I think you're really gonna like this technique. And I did a cup pour, which is taking cups that are open in the top and placing them on the canvas and pouring a special kind of paint, and then just moving the canvas around and creating these abstract designs. And I just fell in love with it. And she said that I had a real flair for it, and that's why most of the pieces in my exhibit are the pour paintings, because I just get a kick out of it. You never know how it's going to turn out, and I never would have thought to do that. And now I've found that there are so many more techniques that build on pour painting. There's working with alcohol ink, so just different mediums. Acrylic is not the only paint out there, it's just the only paint that I've ever been exposed to. So I've had the opportunity to work with alcohol inks, which come out looking like stained glass. Recently I had the opportunity to work with watercolor for the first time, and just see that, that's an entire world of painting that also is really exciting to me. And then of course beyond that, there's the digital art, there's sculpture, there's just so many things I've not even had a chance to explore yet. She's so wonderful, it's such a wonderful connection personally and not just artistically. I can just tell she's so passionate about all of the students that she works with. And she was one of the first people I told about the gallery, and she was just gung-ho, I'm gonna be there opening night, I'm gonna be there at the reception. And then as people are coming into, the studio, she's telling them about this and, show them your paintings. And it's so nice to have somebody in my corner like that. That it's not just about, okay, come into the studio and here's what we're learning today. It's, okay, what is it that you want to learn? Where is your comfort zone? How far out of your comfort zone can I get you? And here's something different I really want you to try. And then giving me feedback. So it's keeping me, one, happy as a customer of the Academy, because certainly I want to feel good about what I paint, but also knowing that unless I'm pushed, I'm never gonna grow as an artist. And that's what she's really interested in, is bringing out that artist in everybody. I think that probably comes from my dad. And he's very much the same personality that, if not now, when, if not me, who. And I think I really get that from him. He was also self-made. He became a doctor and made his way through medical school. And I think that was always encouraged in me, and and my brother as well, that whatever we do, to really give it our all, to see through our commitments, even if it's not something that we enjoy. And certainly I've had a lot of, hobbies growing up that I really didn't enjoy, but I saw those commitments through. And I think that really helped build this determination and perseverance that, okay, if I can get through something I didn't like, then nothing's going to stop me from getting through something I do like. I come from a family that was very encouraging of academics. Two of my grandparents were born in other countries. My grandfather from Poland, my grandmother was born in Latvia, both of them Holocaust survivors. And there was really a very strong sense of pride in them and of being American and raising their children here and their grandchildren. And for them, you make something of yourself. One, my grandmother always told me you need to have a skill. So she was a tailor, and she also helped me learn how to sew. And she said it's very important that you've got a skill that you can, always fall back on, but you need to pursue your academics. She called it getting my initials. And on my father's side, they also were very encouraging of pursuing higher education and just the importance of getting educated and finishing college and going beyond that, especially if I had any kind of academic inkling. And I was always a very good student, so no one was going to let that go to waste. I never thought I would be doing something that wasn't based on realism. And realism is very frustrating because it takes a lot, many years, and a lot of diligent practice to become that kind of an artist. And abstract also takes a lot of diligence, but there's a certain breadth for creativity and difference in how the paintings turn out. That we all painted, for example, the same landscape, and it all looked very different, but you would say they all looked wonderful because the abstract aspect of that painting really allowed for those differences to come through. great example is, this is what I do for a living. I talk to people, and I'm primarily a cognitive behavioral therapist. And cognitive behavioral therapy is pretty black or white. It's pretty concrete. I certainly use a lot of different techniques, but I am very comfortable in my concrete techniques. Abstract is the opposite side of the brain. When I'm in here, I use a lot of my left brain logical thinking. When I'm in the studio, I'm forced to use my right brain creative thinking. And I'm not always in touch with that. And I'm very much naturally the kind of person, give me the instructions, tell me what to do, step by step, how do I paint this? And abstract is, here's the canvas. You don't even need to use a paintbrush, use whatever you want. And it's like, what? So it pushes me to let go of a part of myself that is very rigid. And so sometimes I'm not even sure what's being expressed. I just know that it's there. And I know this is the outlet for it to come out. And then sometimes I'll get into flow, which is just kind of when you are engaged in something and you're so wrapped up in it that like time kind of stands still and it's all you're focused on. And those are really the most wonderful moments in the studio, is just when I'm so focused on the paint on the canvas and where it's going. Sometimes it's a surprise. A couple of the pieces that I've made for this exhibit, I had in my mind what I wanted it to look like. And then once it was finished, it looked completely different. But it looked awesome. There's one piece that I titled Bat Country, because to me it looks like an acid trip. And that was not at all what I was going for. But I was so focused on, just the movement of the canvas rather than how the paint was going to look. So by the time it was done and I stepped back, it was a surprise for me. I do tend to keep some of my paintings here in the office, and though I don't always identify them as my paintings to my clients, I will notice clients are drawn to them and will almost like, Rorschach those ink dots of, tell me what you see in there. And people are drawn to different colors, different parts of the paintings. I find that sometimes the painting can be a place for people to project onto, that it's not necessarily what I'm hoping to communicate. That especially with abstract art, and I think there is this really neat overlap in abstract art and then the work that I do in therapy, where people can come in or they can look at the canvas and project whatever is going on for them. And so one piece can mean 100 different things to 100 different people, but they can all find something in there. I have mostly pour paintings. I do have some traditional paintings as well. I have one that I actually made for my son. It had started out as like a paint and sip painting, and I elaborated on it. His favorite movie is Luca. It's a Disney movie. So I painted those characters into the scene, and so I have that in my exhibit as well. Right now, I would just love people to enjoy it. I'm just having fun painting. I'm having so much fun getting back to this side of me. I look forward to years of continuing to grow as an artist and develop as an artist. My thought process is, as I continue to grow and develop, I believe that I will begin to find a voice as an artist, perhaps find something that I'm hoping to communicate through my work. For right now, the message is, let's just have fun.
Support public libraries. Like, share, and subscribe for more great videos.